So what we're trying to find here is we're trying to find the slope of the line. What does the word slope mean? Slope describes the steepness. I want you to copy this down. The steepness of a line. It tells you how steep a line may be. And if you think of skiing down a slope, okay, think about a steep ski hill as opposed to a ski hill that is not as steep. Okay, so if you look here for a second, which line is steeper that I'm drawing? This line or, so the line 1 or line 2? Which line looks steeper? Line 1, okay? So you're measuring, you're calculating the steepness of a line. That's all slope is. So there are two ways you can calculate slope. One is by using a graph and counting, and the other one is a formula, okay? So slope, to calculate slope, you need to find the rise of the line over the run of the line. The rise is the vertical distance, so the change in the y values, and the run is the horizontal distance. So rise over run. So one way, the first way I'm going to show you is by using the graph and counting, okay? Now, to calculate the rise, we're going to count from one point to the other. Do you think it matters which point I choose? Okay. The steepness would be the same from A to B or from A to C or from B to D and so on, because is it a straight line? Does the steepness of this line change at all from A to E? Or is it the same steepness? It's the same, it's straight. Okay, so you tell me which points do you want to count from? Okay, so I'm going to pick point A and point C. So all we're going to do is we're going to count up, because the line is rising, how many spaces. Now you have to pay attention to the scale. Each square here represents how many? What's this counting by? Each square is counting by 1, right? Each of these squares. So if I count from here to here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going up by 4, correct? Now, to calculate the run, which direction am I going to count? Left or right? Right. So I'm going to count, and again, my scale is 1. Each square represents 1. So if I move here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Positive 6. Okay, does everyone understand that so far? So my slope of this line is equal to 4 over 6. That's the slope. What is that in reduced form, lowest terms? What's 4 over 6 equal to? Lowest terms? 2 over 3. Good. Okay, so the slope is 2 over 3. It has a rise of 2 and a run of 3. Okay, if I were to pick, let's do point D to E. Once again, I'm going to count the rise. How many spaces, how many squares does this line rise? 1, 2, and what's the run? 3. Again, 2 over 3. Any single 2 points that I choose will have a slope of 2 over 3 because the line is straight. That's the slope of the line. So to calculate it without the graph, because we're given all these coordinates, we can pick any 2 of the coordinates, just like we did on the graph, and we're going to calculate the slope. So which 2 coordinates do you want to pick? So we're going to use coordinate B and D. So let me rewrite this on the next page. We're basically finding the differences in the values. So look back at the graph. Here's B and D. I'm going to draw a triangle. Okay. I need to know what it rises by, and I need to know what the run is. So we're actually calculating, like you just said, the differences in, what axis is this? The y-axis. So we're calculating the differences in the y values, and then we're calculating the differences in the x values. So from here to here, right? Instead of counting it, we can just subtract from one x value to the other. Okay, so I'm using the 2 coordinates to calculate the change, the rise, and the run. When you label a coordinate, how do you label a coordinate? What variables do we use to label a coordinate? X, Y. This is also X and Y, correct? Now, I'm going to label B as coordinate 1. So see how I put the number 1 underneath the variable? So that's my first coordinate, and then this is my second coordinate. Okay. Okay, so I'm just differentiating between the two coordinates so that when I use a formula, I know which numbers to choose first. Okay, so the slope, if slope is equal to rise over run, how do you think we would calculate the rise? That is actually the formula. So we're subtracting one of the y values, take away the other y value. So instead of writing y minus y, I'm going to put y2 minus y1. So one of the y values, take away the other one. That will tell us the difference between the two. Over, what do you think it's going to be divided by? x2 minus x1. That's the formula. This is the slope formula. Okay, and we'll plug it in. So what is y2? What did I label as y2? What number? 8. Take away, what did I label as y1? 4. Okay, so we used y2 minus y1, subtracting my y values so I can see the difference between the two, so I can figure out what the line rises by. And then I'm subtracting my x values. So which one is x2? 5 take away? -1. Please make sure you include the negative sign. It's taking away negative. Okay, what's 8 take away 4? What's 5 take away -1? 5 plus 1. And lowest terms, 2 over 3. Did I get the same answer as when I counted on the graph? 2 over 3.